In this video, what we're going to do is look at the expectations for evaluating formulas. And to do that, we're going to go through the example of find the perimeter of a rectangle using the formula P equals 2L plus 2W, where the length L equals 11 centimeters and the width W equals 6 centimeters. Before we start working on this, let's talk about exactly what a formula is. So a formula is basically an equation with multiple variables. So a formula has multiple variables, and remember, a variable means that it's a value, but it also can change, right? So sometimes some formulas look like they have a variable in them, but really that variable actually doesn't change in value, so we don't really consider it a variable. The third thing about these variables is that they all represent something that we can measure. So represent something measurable. And so that means measure with a ruler, or maybe it's something that we're counting, or maybe it's measuring time, but it's something measurable. So let's take a look at this particular example where we have a rectangle that we're trying to find its perimeter. So the very, very first thing that I'm always going to expect you to do is we'll start off by writing our formula down. P equals 2L plus 2W. And then we're going to substitute in any values that we know. So we don't know the value of P, so we'll leave it as P. The 2 stays as a 2. Then we're told the value of L is 11, so I'll substitute that in. And then we'll add to that 2, and then the value of W we're told is 6. So now we've substituted in our values, we've used parentheses like we've done before, and now we'll use our order of operation steps to kind of wrap this up. I've got a multiplication here and a multiplication here. I can do those together because the addition sign keeps them separate. So let's evaluate those. We get P equals 22 plus 12, and now really there's nothing else to do. So P equals 34. Now, one of the keys when using formulas is to make sure that because this is something that's measurable, it has units. So in this case here, if we look at the question, we can see that these are both in centimeters. So we need to make sure that we include the centimeters in our final answer here. And so really simply, right, we have 3 steps. The first step was writing the formula and then making our substitutions. The second step was working it out. And then the third step is just making sure that we include appropriate units in our final answer. And those are the expectations for doing work with formulas this year in math.